Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Doug Pinter from Anytime Fitness Peoria on Daily Energy. We have our go-to professional, Jeff Bach, in the house.
Morning, Doug. How are you?
Not very well. You guys have been ganging up on me for the last 10 minutes. And our good friend, president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Peoria, Jeff Griffin. So,
got it.
Morning.
Good morning.
I feel like I'm in the hot seat right now. Like, you guys have something up your sleeve here this morning.
We're planning it, Doug.
Been planning it? No. So, Jeff, I got your message last night about coming on. So, welcome again. I know our show a week or two ago when you had me on to talk about the Front Nine Foundation I had a blast. So, welcome back on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I was surprised we don't have any tissues around because Cleveland got it handed to them last night.
Why are you going to start with that?
Well, let me lead in. Yeah, let me back out of that and lead in with, will the Cubs ever score again? Tiger, just stop showing Tiger on TV. This is bad. Like beating a horse when it's down. In Golden State, is it a sweep? I think it'll go 5 games, but let's get into the Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavs last night. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what you guys are like. You got a look on your face now.
I'll say whatever you want me to say about it.
We had the Warriors topping the Cavs last night, 113-91. The Golden State Warriors led every single quarter in the box score.
Yeah.
I mean, they just went on a roll. We were talking earlier. Durant just can't win, right?
I hope not.
Well,
so we got to level. I mean, the audience needs to understand. You know this, Jeff. I don't know if you do. I'm 46 years old. The only championship.
You look terrible for 46.
The only championship my hometown of Cleveland has ever won was last year.
The land.
The only one you'll win.
And then when we moved to Illinois, my kids were Cubs fans, and I said, that's fine. The Indians and Cubs will never be in the World Series together.
No.
And then it happens, and we get it handed to us.
No.
The only team to lose Game 7 twice in the World Series in extra innings. So it's been a tragedy. I mean, I was at the drive. I was at the shot. I was at all these events. So I just, Game 1 to lose it, that's fine. Last year, it was like, Golden State in 3. And we ended up pulling it out in 7. So I hope for the same this year.
As long as Draymond kicks somebody in the groin again and gets suspended.
That guy.
He needs to spicing it up.
Without basketball, he's in prison, I think.
So it's funny. Izzo said, Tom Izzo coached him at Michigan State. He said behind Muhammad Ali and one other player, Draymond Green is the third most reputable player he's ever coached. I about fell over. I'm like,
he coached
Izzo?
Muhammad Ali?
I don't know, been around.
Let's
not split hairs over this.
I didn't know
It's probably on Wikipedia.
played for the Spartans.
I think
So
he
this
did.
show is slowly derailing 3 minutes in. It's actually longer. It took longer than I anticipated. But Durant, 38 points last night. Curry with 28. You had local boy Sean Livingston, 15 minutes, 1 for 5. He had some good looks last night. They were bouncing around the rim. He could have dropped all of those, but 2 rebounds, a steal, an assist, and 2 points for Sean Livingston, local boy. Golden State shot 43% from the field against Cleveland's 35. Golden State drained 12 threes against Cleveland's 11. The big thing, 31 assists for Golden State. If you guys watched that game last night, it's all about ball movement.
Yep.
And I do think Kevin Durant is the X factor that Golden State needs to win this championship. I was listening to a sports show on the way in. They're talking about why would you leave, a small company that's building, in essence, OKC, to overrun this bigger company, which was Cleveland Cavs, to go to Golden State to win a championship. And I think it makes total sense. Why we wouldn't be talking about Kevin Durant right now if he were with OKC. He'd be at home on the couch. We'd be talking about how Curry lit it up last night, and Durant wouldn't even be in the conversation.
Well, maybe not. I mean, they took him to Game 7 last year, right? OKC.
How many times are we going to hear about Game 7?
No. I'm talking OKC and Golden State in the Western Conference Final.
If the Thunder had won Game 6, they would have been playing in the finals against the Cavs. The Cavs would have steamrolled them. I mean, Durant would probably still be in OKC.
There you go.
But I mean,
I just don't like the fabric of the guy.
Why?
The goatee. It's the scraggly goatee that hangs down.
Is he in the news for other reasons other than going over to Golden State? I mean,
no, of course not. He's not a bad guy.
Seems like he's a pretty good ambassador for the NBA.
We all grew up in the Jordan era, so we're used to we want to be the you're the lead dog.
Yeah.
You go get, you're the lead dog. It's your team. Jordan didn't leave to go play for the Pistons.
Well,
right?
I don't think the Pistons. Okay, great point. I was thinking about the Pistons wouldn't have let Jordan on their team back in the day. They had such hatred. I think there was such a fine line back then. There's no way these players could hop from team to team like LeBron's done.
It's different.
Why is
It's always
LeBron
different.
not getting this huge bad
why
rap
do
then
you
for
think
going
he-
back to Cleveland?
But Cleveland, he got it when he
got
left
it, yeah.
Cleveland. They were burning his.
I mean-
they were burning his shirt in the streets and everything. Then
Dan
when he
Gilbert
came back-
wrote a letter that was like,
Yeah, it was
screw
all
you, we don't
different.
watch it.
But you know what? The thing is, and in all seriousness, like LeBron and Durant, I mean, they hurt the fans, and it kills you when LeBron left Cleveland to go to Miami. It was devastating to the whole. I mean,
To
attendance.
some, to like the 15 Cavs fans out there.
No, to the 25,000 that were filling the stadium and all the bar workers around the dealer.
Yeah.
But the thing is, both of them, and I know for a fact, both of them give so much back to their community in terms of scholarship. I mean, LeBron's sponsoring like 100 kids to go to college or something. It's
fantastic.
Doing great work in
Cleveland.
Akron,
Akron, yeah.
Cleveland, Akron area. And Durant left a huge legacy in Oklahoma City in terms of investment, donations, and everything. So that the money's just sick. So.
I can't blame for Durant for going to Golden State, wanting to win a ring.
No,
He
just
put up
emotional for
38
me, right?
points last night.
What were the offensive rebounds? Do you have that
Oh,
number?
I'm glad you asked about that.
bet you did.
No, I don't have it.
Well, I know.
I do have 31 assists for Golden State, 20 turnovers for Cleveland.
Yeah.
I do think Cleveland's Achilles heel in this is going to be their defense. You could see it in transition
Yeah.
last night when Golden State got out running. I mean, Durant finished at the rim several times. Durant could have easily had 50 points last night had he hit some of those baseline jumpers and finish around the rim. I just think Durant is that element that is the X factor that will bring home a title for Golden State.
How can you be better? And then you add Durant.
Well,
But they
I
replaced
mean,
Barnes with Durant. I mean, that's what they did. Barnes went to Dallas. Durant showed up. They pretty much have the same team except the big guys.
What about the other 26 teams or whatever?
there's 30.
There's 30. So
That's
the other
true, he's
20.
right.
Thank you for that math.
He's right.
This is the third year in a row. It's Golden State and Cleveland.
It's got to be great for the cities. I
It
mean,
is, but
I
the
think
other
it's
28
such a huge
cities-
rival.
It is, but the competitiveness. We just knew this was going to happen 6 months ago.
This is what the NBA wants, though, in my opinion. I wonder what the ratings from last
how
night's
deep
show
a dive
was.
do we want to do into this? Because it's basically the salary cap jacked up by like $30 million because they signed that new TV deal. Otherwise, Durant's not in Golden State. And
Just when I think you have nothing to contribute on the sports
Well,
aspect, you drop that
And then, Doug,
knowledge.
the other thing you got to consider here, this whole super team BS started in the Dream Team when those guys started playing together and liking each other. That's why LeBron and Paul LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all formed that team. And so, I mean, just saying, like in the '90s Pistons, they would have hated Jordan. They wouldn't have wanted him on the team. They never played with
taken
him.
him.
Have you seen that 30-30 special, Bad Boys of the Pistons?
Yes, that was a great show.
Oh, it's
great
phenomenal.
show. Lambeer,
Lambeer.
Joe Dumars, right?
Ugly
Benny
people.
Johnson, Rick Mahorn, all those crazy guys.
Oh, man.
Isaiah Thomas, yep.
Yeah,
They didn't. They didn't.
The
care.
microwave, yep.
And that's a lot of the. So we get the whining now about hard fouls and stuff. You look at those tapes. Man, you couldn't
back
go
in the
through the
day.
lane without shoulder pads on. They were getting killed.
I remember it was Bulls versus Pistons. I think it was when Rodman went from Detroit to Chicago, started playing. It was in the playoffs. He got taken like 4 rows into the seats on a layup.
It was pre-tattooed.
Bill Lambeer.
Lambeer always
He
had a
still
little.
gives me
He always had a
nightmares.
little mouse. He still has black eyes from playing.
So we were talking about Golden State and their victory over the Cleveland Cavs last night. One other stat to throw at you. Everybody on Golden State's team scored except McCaw. So, I mean, everyone's getting minutes. McCaw had the least. I think he had 3 or 4 minutes last night on the floor. But some of these guys coming off the bench are really stepping up. Bench scored 24 points last night. There were 56 points scored in the paint. So that tells you once Durant starts driving and they figure out they have to stop him, he's dishing it out to Curry. And Klay Thompson, wait till he heats up. I mean, he is in a funk right now, but his defense is what's keeping him in there.
Right.
Wait until Klay fires up. They're going to put up 100. I guarantee they put up 135 plus in one of these games against the Cavs.
They both have the same plan. It's get to the rim, find a shooter. If you're open at the rim, you shoot the shot. Otherwise, you find a shooter. And I mean, they've surrounded LeBron with shooters. They've surrounded. I mean, the Warriors can do more. They have more guys that can do more, but it's still the same idea. Get to the rim, find a shooter.
You got J.R. Smith, Love, Irving, LeBron. You have a handful of role players coming off the
all
bench.
old guys,
Williams. I mean,
Kyle Korver,
Williams, along with Livingston, might be the best sixth man in the NBA.
Yep.
Richard Jefferson, all those guys.
So, I mean, Cavs have some talent. And, LeBron stomps off, gets about halfway into the tunnel and realizes what's going on. He stops, and then he turns around, starts high-fiving his players, saying, hey, we got him next game.
Yep.
So, I mean, you could see in a short moment that LeBron knows he's up against a huge mountain here.
And sometimes it feels like he can do whatever he wants anytime he wants, and then when the wheels come off the track, he can't. And he puts his shoulder down and gets in that lane. Sometimes
it's game over. He's a beast.
Well, it's the defense that's going to get him. I mean, they got enough on offense to hang with Golden State. It's just, can they get a stop?
I don't think so. They rank 20th out of 30 teams in the NBA on defense. And, I mean, when you get a potent offense like Golden State, you just can't.
No, but you're right. Then you do get a stop. Then you do get a missed jumper or something like that. And then they get the rebound. It's just a backbreaker.
Yeah.
You finally get one of those dudes who never misses to miss, and then, whoop.
But hey, it's game one at their place. One of the loudest arenas in
last night.
So, I mean, losing game one is not uncommon.
All right, I'll call you Sunday night when they lose game
last
2.
year we were down 3-1 and came back.
Yeah, it was 0-2, then it was 3-1, and yeah.
You know my game 7 story, right? From the finals?
Please, let's hear it.
Man, this is
everyone is on the edge of their seat, sleeping.
It, they won.
No, this is tragic. So my
How can it be
in-laws,
tragic if they won?
well, you're about to find out. My wife's parents live in the Dominican Republic, and Rosie and the kids were down there for like 3 weeks. And the day I was flying down to catch up with them was Sunday game 7 last year.
Okay.
So I'm at a layover in JFK, and I bust out the $50 for the day pass in the lounge and everything else with
You high roller.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
Quesadillas, drafts, the whole thing.
Chicken or just cheesecake?
Both, man. I like to go
That's
both.
worth 50.
Whoa, I'm going to get Mexican after this.
I'm just going there to hang
So
out.
my flight,
Yeah,
and
they
who
were flying.
could have planned this? My flight's taking off like about the same time as tip-off, game 7. Right. And had it all lined up. We got television on the plane, no problem. Downloaded the app, ready to go. Wi-Fi. Get onto the plane.
You can't stream that.
They
you can't stream that,
downgraded
bro.
our plane. No television. No swipe for television. Nice ABC live feed.
This is why you have to get a private jet.
That's fine. Exactly. Well, it was at the shop. So I said, no problem. We got the Wi-Fi. And the guy's like,
No streaming.
nah, we're over the ocean. There's no Wi-Fi.
And then anyway, bro, don't worry.
You hit the call button to get the Wi-Fi
Against
password.
the window, and then 2 300-pound guys are middle and aisle. So I'm crushed up against the window, miss entire game 7, land in the Dominican Republic to my father-in-law and Rosie's cousins celebrating with rum and cokes. My phone blew up with about 200. So anyway, long story short, they want to get me back on a plane and just fly around the country, the world.
I'll chip in for that ticket. Anyways, our good friend Mike's even laughing on the switches.
Was that story a letdown?
Oh, geez. Well, we just lost all of our listeners. Bach and I'll try to get them back right now. Jeff Bach, attorney at law, and our good friend Jeff Griffin, president of the Peoria Chamber of Commerce. Hey, so Sunday night, 7 o'clock, right now, Golden State minus 8.5. They're the favorite with a total of 221.5. If I'm wagering on that game, which I might be with you, Griffin and Bach, I'm taking Golden State, and I'm going to take the under. The reason I'm taking the under is I don't see the Cavs scoring in the triple digits.
I like
Not on the road.
I like it.
What do you think, Griff? You look confused
No,
over there.
I'm trying to process
Kinda
everything you just went
guys
through.
both
8.5.
All right.
No, we'll do that. Let's do that.
Okay. All right. We'll do something there. So, Jeff Bach, attorney at law. Let's talk a little bit about law and what have you here this morning. We got 4th of July coming up. You got all these crazy parties
Doug,
or
actually,
what?
July 1st is coming up, and there's in Illinois they just passed the child support law, the new child support law. So if you if your income, it doesn't even matter if your income changes. It used to be about what the paying party's income was. It was a certain percentage of the net income.
All right.
Now it's going to be based on income shares. So if you and the person who you're paying make the same amount of money, then you'll each pay 50%. Obviously they'll have the kids 50% of the time, or not. It doesn't matter how often they have the kids, except what I'm trying to say here, though, Doug, is that there will be a certain number that comes out based on your zip code, and then you will pay again whatever percentage of the total income you make, you will pay that percentage of that number. So the number that's been bandied about, which I'm sure will not be the right number, is about $12,000 for our area. Now, this is all, of course, up to the state to come out with that. We all know how the state's doing right now. We're feeling very optimistic that they're going to get things done on time because they're really good at that, right? But when they don't, it's still going to take effect July 1st. Eventually, they'll come out with the number that says in the 61614 area code, on average, it costs $12,000 a year to raise a child. If you and the ex make the same amount, you'll pay 50% of that amount to the ex. That'll be your child support. So for high earners or even medium earners, that may be a drastic change. Now, the new law in and of itself is not a reason to go back and change your child support, but it's absolutely the type of thing where if you come in and talk to me about it, we're not going to charge you just to have a conversation. We'll crunch some numbers on the roughly and see if it would make sense to get it done. If it doesn't make sense, a handshake, pat on the back, and maybe talk some basketball. Bring Griffin there to talk about the Cavs after they win their second championship.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Exactly. The 2P, the back-to-back.
So when does this take effect? You said July 1st.
Yep.
So what takes effect July 1st? Is it the amount of the payment for the support, or that
everybody who has a child support order, that child support order will continue on in effect? No matter, as of
Unless
July 1st,
revisited.
it won't change. But if you come in and talk, a lot of times people don't mess with it for a while. And usually the standard is if your income is changed by more than 20% up or down. So if it's changed by 20% up or down, and we calculate it under the new law and it makes sense for us to go back, we can use that as a reason. Again, just because your child support amount would be different under this new law, if you already have a child support amount, that's not a reason in and of itself to change it. But again, a lot of times there's a reason. Over time, kids get older, the needs change. Obviously, a 2-year-old isn't driving around in a car where, a 16.
I grew up in a small town.
I did see my niece. She was driving a Power Wheel this morning, a 3-year-old, but I don't think that takes gas. I think it's probably battery powered.
Okay.
So it might be gas.
All right.
Recycle those things. So.
Nevertheless, the point is, you come in, talk to me after July 1st. We'll see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, hearty handshake, pat on the back. We'll give you your Cleveland Cavaliers back-to-back T-shirt that they're going to send to Nicaragua when it doesn't happen anyway.
I was going to say there's going to be a
We'll intercept a box of those.
I do have a Buckeye Rose Bowl T-shirt that never happened.
I said leave Ohio State out of this show.
I'm sorry. Go.
Jeff Bach, attorney
We
at
can get
law
back to
downtown.
sports, so that's all
Wait,
people
are you
need to
telling
know.
me it's 12,000? So the number for 61615?
No. This is all hypothetical.
Just using some
So
numbers.
we took a
$12,000 a month.
Jesus. We took a legal education thing at the beginning of the year, and that's what they were throwing out there. And so again, until the numbers actually come out by the state. But again, it's all going to depend. I mean, some people are in a situation where, maybe they make 50 and the ex makes 80. Well, obviously you don't make, you're going to pay that percentage. You're going to pay 50 divided by 130. I should have made the math easier. I'm not that smart. Let's say 50 and 100. That would be 33% of that number. So if you're even a medium earner and the other person earns more or earns similar, it's probably going to make sense to at least come check the math.
Families in this situation should be reaching out to you now to get prepared for 30 days.
Sure, absolutely. And just to check the math, just to get a feel for it and that kind of stuff.
Well, let's see it. It doesn't cost anything to come and visit with you.
Yep.
You'll come up with a game plan. You'll tell them whether it's worth it or not.
Absolutely.
And then if it is worth it, you'll help them pursue it.
And frankly, custody things that turn into, mom's bad, dad's bad, those are always terrible and cost a lot of money. Something that's just math, like here are my numbers, you hand it to the judge may say, well, what about this? And you hand it to the other attorney may say, well, I'm not sure you carried the one or something, but there's nothing contentious. I mean, it can be, everything can be contentious, but it's not mom or dad is bad. It's just, hey, look, here are the numbers. Here's your W-2. Here's my W-2. Here's the math.
It seems simplified, and at the end of the day, it's all about making sure the kids are taken care of.
Absolutely.
And I think this is it seems cleaner.
We're one of 40 states now that are doing it this way. But before we were like one of 11 states that did just based on income, and it was a certain percentage of your income.
So Jeff, is the majority of your work domestic work?
Probably 25-30% of that. I do a lot of injury work, some criminal work
and
too.
This is just anecdotal. I have no data to
my favorite stories.
This ought to be something.
No. I'm seriously. I mean, we obviously Rosie and I. Our kids are sophomore, freshman, 6th grade. A lot of families with split parents and most of them get along quite well.
Absolutely.
And then when there's contention, that's amplified everything. But not that divorce is a great solution, but most of the families we interact with, they want what's best for their kids. Something like this feels it's best for the kids.
No, but you bring up a good point. Obviously, the younger the kids are, the more it's going to make sense to do this. Because if your kids graduate in school in 6 months, to change it for 6 months probably isn't worth it. But if your kids are 3 or 4, you're going to be paying that amount for 14 or 15 more years. Again, it's at least worth checking out.
If you're the lower income and you're sending your kids to private school, I mean, that really taxes a person's discretionary income. So, Jeff Bach, Bach Attorney at Law, we were just talking about the new coverage coming July 1st for child support. Your office downtown. Michael put up your name and how to contact you on the screen here. Let's cover the Cub Cardinals.
Let's do it.
All right. Boy, the Cubs are ice cold. Last week I predicted like a West Coast sweep. Were you quiet about Ohio sports?
It was a West Coast sweep.
It's terrible.
With all their stupid costumes going out there. Anyway, go ahead. It's your show.
Well, thanks for pointing out all those stupid costumes and how they did get the West Coast freeze. Cubs went 0-7 over there against Dodgers in San Diego. Terrible. They're taking on the Cardinals today. So call out Cam. I need that. Deanna Cassidy / Dean, whatever your last name is. Bread pudding must be delivered. We have bread pudding bet on all these series. So bread pudding must be delivered by Wednesday at noon.
Is that crock pot pudding?
Yeah, it can be whatever. I made a killer one when the Cubs lost the last series. Anyways, let's stay on point. Cubs are 25-27. Cards 26-25, sitting in second place. You kindly sent me the standings last night. I think I followed up with a text back to you for thanking you for all that great insight. The game starts at 1:20 today. You got Lackey versus Lynn. Lackey's 4-5 with a 5.18 ERA, and in Lynn for the Cardinals 2.93. Vegas has the Cubs pegged at 152 as a winner, so they're favored quite a bit.
You can still make first pitch.
Maybe. I'll be doing a TV show from Coyote Creek featuring some of the things they're doing out there. But anyways, Lackey, 3 runs over 6 innings. Lynn, last time they met, 2 runs over 5 1/3. Cubs got into the Cardinals bullpen. The bullpen for the Cardinals is one of the softest in the MLB. However, your starting pitchers are leading the MLB with one of the lowest ERAs. The Cubs bullpen is second in the NL with 3.23 ERA. So St. Louis, their bullpen 14th, like I mentioned, with a 4.79. Wainwright hit a 2-run homer, pitched a gem the other night, led the Cardinals to a 2-0 victory over a solid ball club right now, coming in against the Cubs at Wrigley. I hate to say it, but I think the Cardinals take this series.
Whoa.
I do.
Whoa.
Your guys' starting pitching is starting to hit on all cylinders. I think Wainwright's got his off speed. I think you guys, your bats. Fowler hit a walk-off homer this past weekend.
They avoid Martinez and Waino, so that's good for the Cubs.
That's fantastic, but the Cubs bats are so cold right now. I mean, they were talking about putting Schwarber on the DL for 10 days, just give him some hitting practice, rest that knee. Nothing's wrong with his knee.
Yeah, but home cooking can make everything right real quick.
And Joe Madden, he's an unconventional thinker. I bet he's going to turn on that Major League clip where Joe Boo or where Pedro Serrano throws on the hats for bats. That's probably what they're doing. They're probably taking your driver head cover, hat full bat.
Joe Boo.
Keep bats warm. That's all they need. If they kept the bats warm on the...
For everyone still tuned in, I apologize.
He does need a refill right now.
I did put a disclaimer out there that we would derail today, and it happened 2.5 minutes into the show.
I got Jake Turner texting me that I got to put my guns away.
Oh, we better throw out Eric English when we were playing in the chamber golf. Oh, hold on. Let's get to the chamber outing here in just a second. So Fowler's returned to Chicago. He's getting his World Series ring. He said he's happy to get this ring. He still is in contact with some of the players, but it is to close that chapter, and now he is a St. Louis Cardinals. Ross is going to announce the final game of Sunday Night Baseball from the bleachers, so that should be awesome. Cards' hottest rotation. Rizzo got engaged Thursday. I mean, what the heck is going on?
Club.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Third place Cubs.
Why didn't he call one of us first, right? I mean, if he had done that, we could have
consulted an attorney.
Well, that's true, exactly. Prenup.
All right, So Rizzo, if you're tuned in, prenup. We had
Two
some.
words for you.
I had some emails about Schwarber's swing mechanics. I think it's more his pitch selection. He's swinging early, getting behind in the counts. When he works the counts in his favor is when you see him hit the ball hard. Is Montero a better catcher than Contreras? That was a great question. Lester loves Contreras behind the plate. Obviously, his throwdowns to first, he's holding the players tight, as well as his velocity down to second is way ahead of Montero. However, since he asked the question, Contreras is 15-19 behind the plate, and Montero's 10-8. So that's a good question. And then home run. Why do all the Cub players, after they hit a home run, go into the tunnel? I'm assuming they were asking this prior to this past week when we got swept. It's because they actually have no cameras in the tunnel, and they have TVs back there, so the pitcher or the batter that just hit the home run can watch that pitch sequence, try to figure out that pitcher, see if they did get a tip of the glove moving or something. So a little insight. So thanks for the questions this past week. Keep them coming. Our guests and I will try to answer those the best we can. So, the Chamber Golf outing you guys hosted last week.
You guys were good.
How about second place?
59.
What the heck? Griffin, couldn't you get us a 54 to beat that other team that shot 55?
The double nickel was controversial, wasn't it?
A lot of discussion going on.
Casey Johnson.
Oh, geez, we're throwing out names now. D8 points.
We
Don't
appreciate
get me
all
going.
of you coming out to the.
It was a great turnout. Great day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, man. It was perfect.
I love how afterwards you get in and out. I was able to go coach the kids.
Absolutely.
You were able to hang out with your buddy Dave, right?
No, we had a good time. Both of us had a really good time.
I had a blast, man.
A lot of
That's
fun.
the plan. That's actually the first year I've golfed in my own golf outing since I've been here.
You call that golfing?
The first couple years, I just kind of stood around because I didn't know people, and I wanted to make sure I knew people.
And now you know everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, it's cool. We got a great team. It's great to see Sharnika and Kelly and folks and Susie interact with the guests. We have. It's really cool to see that because that's what Chamber of Commerce is all about: relationships and making sure we're doing for our members what they need to be done, and it's reciprocal.
Well, I think of the Chamber, obviously. I think of you and how terrible the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Cleveland Cavaliers are. Please don't interrupt me. I'm on a roll. But I also think of everybody here down at the office. You guys put on a heck of an event. Bach, you hit some shots out there that were just flat out terrible.
Most of them.
Hit me.
Well, it's because I had a $100 bill if he did that.
I was going to say, I didn't hit it very hard, so
we're
you're
down
probably
to
okay.
2 minutes, 30 seconds. We got Jeff Bach, Attorney at Law, Jeff Griffin, the president of the Peoria Chamber of Commerce here. Thanks for tuning in here. What do you got?
Well, this is the reason I texted Doug last night. Hey, can I crash your show? I didn't expect to be on the whole time, so thank you for yielding time.
Pleasure.
So, if people don't know, and I don't want to hijack your show, but I'm going to right now, the Peoria Journal-Star does this best of the best competition, and so when chamber members do something special, we do some proclamations just to recognize that. And I wanted to come out to Anytime Fitness to do that, but since Doug's down here, it's easier for me and saves the mileage. So Shelby LaBeouf, I knew I'd screw that up. Shelby is my man. Shelby was the 2017 Personal Trainer of the Year. We have this proclamation for him.
Thanks, man.
We have a much overdue one to Patrick, because Patrick was the 2016. They went two-peat, like the Cavs are going to go two-peat.
And Pat was up on the board with Shelby this
LaBeouf.
year as well, yeah.
And we have
these guys are just bringing it home.
Kathy Rupert, and I've been to Kathy's yoga class. She is a beautiful spirit inside and out.
And I have video of Jeff in tight yoga pants and a tank with hair coming out everywhere.
No, actually, quite the opposite. It's a very dark room. She puts on, no matter your skill level on yoga, Kathy makes you feel right at home, and she's really good. She was the yoga instructor of the year.
Kathy, way to bring it home.
And then Anytime Fitness itself was the Best Health Club Gym Weight Loss Center 2017 Peoria's Best of the Best.
I mean, how fortunate am I?
So, I know, we're running out, but I want to read this quickly, if I may. Doug Pinner relies on his own experiences to motivate and lead the team of Anytime Fitness. It is because of Doug's passion for health and his community that Anytime Fitness has earned such a well-deserved community recognition. Beyond being a great business, Anytime Fitness gives back to local charities in a big way. Doug Pinner, his family, and his team represent everything that is right in Peoria.
Well,
and that is, somebody wrote that cares about you. I don't know exactly who, but
thanks,
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stephanie Gearin.
I'll say it's all of the staff, and we have such classy members at Anytime Fitness Peoria that allows me to do what I love to do every single day. I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I love my staff like family and our members. You guys all belong there. So I appreciate everything. Thanks for coming on, Jeff Griffin,
Thanks for having
Peoria
me.
Chamber of Commerce, and Jeff Bach, attorney at law. And what a derailed show. Ended nicely. We talked a little bit about child support, so make sure you get back in and check out the clips. We talked a little Cavs and Golden State. This is Doug Pinner on Daily Energy. Have a great weekend, everybody.